The first light of dawn casts a cold, colorless glow over Jerusalem. But this is no ordinary sunrise. It feels like the world is holding its breath. Jesus is led through the stone alleys, his wrists bound by frayed cords, blood drying on his face from the night's abuse. Each footstep on the dusty ground is a silent prophecy fulfilled. The streets, usually full of noise, feel haunted today, empty of joy, heavy with judgment. People emerge from their doorways not to help, but to watch. Some whisper his name with sorrow, others avert their eyes. No one dares speak aloud what their hearts fear. This man might truly be the Son of God. Atop the marble fortress balcony, Pontius Pilate stands stiff, his fingers clasped behind his back, staring into a courtyard simmering with unrest. The morning light spills over the rooftops, but there is no warmth in it, only judgment. Pilate squints at the prisoner below, trying to reconcile what he sees with what he's been told. This man, beaten, bound, silent, does not look like a threat to Rome. And yet, something about him unsettles the governor deeply. Claudia stands beside him, her silk shawl barely shielding her from a chill she feels in her bones. Her eyes glisten. "There's something divine in him," she murmurs, voice tight with warning. "He is not guilty. I saw him again last night, in my dreams. There was light all around him." Pilate exhales hard through his nose, trying to shake the weight of her words. He's judged thieves, zealots, murderers, but this is no criminal. This is a man who carries the authority of heaven in his stillness. Pilate may wear the Roman seal, but the prisoner below commands a kingdom he cannot see, yet cannot deny. Below, the courtyard churns with chaos. The chief priests, their robes swirling like clouds before a storm, shout with venom-drenched fervor. "He blasphemes! He calls himself the Son of God. He claims he will destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days." Their voices rise in shrill crescendos, more desperate than righteous. The people shift, uncertain, some afraid, some angry, all confused. But Jesus stands in the middle of it all like an immovable rock in a raging sea. His silence cuts through their noise more powerfully than any argument. Pilate leans forward, disturbed by the calm radiating from this supposed criminal. "Are you the king of the Jews?" he finally asks. Jesus turns to him slowly, his face bruised but composed. "You say that I am," he replies, not arrogantly, but as one confirming a truth that existed before time itself. The words hang heavy in the air. The priests recoil. The people murmur. Pilate, normally immune to fear, feels something he cannot name begin to stir in his chest. This is no ordinary man. This is judgment on trial. Inside the palace, tension thickens like incense in a temple gone dark. The chamber feels smaller with every question, as if the walls themselves shrink from the gravity of what's unfolding. Pilate circles Jesus slowly, unease written across his face. "Your people want you dead," he says, trying to sound firm, but the tremble in his voice betrays him. Why? Jesus doesn't answer right away. He watches Pilate with eyes that seem to pierce centuries. Then he speaks, not in protest, but in truth. "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight." Pilate stares, trying to understand. This is not rebellion. This is surrender, of a divine kind. "So you are a king?" he presses, more desperate than inquisitive. Jesus answers, "For this I was born, to testify to the truth." The words hang in the air like thunder over a quiet sea. Pilate exhales. "What is truth?" he whispers, not to Jesus, but to himself. And yet, deep down, he knows. Truth isn't a concept. It's the man standing right in front of him. Meanwhile, outside the city's edge, Judas Iscariot stumbles through a barren field, a man driven mad by remorse. The morning wind whips against him, but he feels no chill, only the burning weight of guilt that clings to his skin like ash. The silver coins feel heavier with each step, like iron anchors dragging his soul downward. He reaches the very field purchased by his betrayal, the potter's field, where blood will one day mix with clay. His breath hitches, tears falling like rain. Jesus' voice, so tender, so final, echoes again in his mind. Friend, that word, that mercy. It breaks him. He collapses beside a twisted tree, gasping through sobs. "What have I done?" he chokes out, rocking back and forth in agony. He grabs the pouch and throws it with trembling hands. The coins scatter like cursed seeds across the rocky ground. No crowd surrounds him, no soldiers, no accusers, just the silence of judgment and the stillness of sorrow. Judas disappears into the very darkness he helped unleash, never to return. Back in the heart of Jerusalem, the noise of a rising mob drowns reason like a flood. Pilate steps onto the stone platform, Jesus beside him, wounded but still unbowed. The choice is clear: Barabbas, the known murderer and zealot, or Jesus, the one who healed the blind and fed the hungry. "Whom shall I release to you?" Pilate shouts. But the crowd has changed. The same voices that once cried, "Hosanna," now howl for blood. "Give us Barabbas!" they roar, fists raised. Pilate's face twists in disbelief. Why? What evil has he done? But logic has no place here, only fear, stirred by jealous priests and fueled by spiritual blindness. Claudia appears, her eyes pleading. "Have nothing to do with this righteous man," she says. "I dreamed of him again last night." But the tide is too strong. Pilate steps to a basin and washes his hands. The water trickles down, glistening like betrayal in daylight. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he declares. But his heart knows otherwise. His hands may be rinsed, but his soul is already stained. With his final attempt at mercy rejected, Pilate makes a decision that will echo through eternity. He gives the order: Jesus is to be scourged. What follows is not just punishment, it's savagery. The Roman soldiers, trained in cruelty, unleash their fury with whips tipped in shards of bone and metal. Each lash tears through skin, exposing muscle, splattering blood onto the stone. The air fills with the sound of leather cracking, flesh breaking, and spectators gasping. But Jesus does not scream. He doesn't plead. He absorbs it all in silence, as if every stripe is a covenant being written on his back. The soldiers mock him to mask their unease. They throw a purple robe over his mangled frame, jam a crown of thorns into his scalp, and strike him while laughing. "Hail, King of the Jews!" they jeer, spitting in his face. Yet when he looks at them, eyes swollen, lips split, there's no hatred, only compassion, and it haunts them more than if he had cursed them. Among the shifting crowd, Mary stands as a pillar of unimaginable strength. Her eyes never waver, even as the lashes fall, even as her son bleeds before her. The sounds of the scourging echo in her chest like cannon fire, each one breaking something deeper within her. She clutches her shawl like it's the only thing keeping her from collapsing. Around her, others cry. Mary Magdalene buries her face in her hands. Salome trembles, unable to speak. But Mary remains upright, rooted in both grief and love. She sees not only her son, but her Savior. And in that horrifying moment, their eyes meet across the chaos. His pain and her sorrow merge in silent understanding. No mother should witness this. No mother should endure it. But she does, not out of strength alone, but out of the same love that once rocked him to sleep under Bethlehem's stars. Not far from the courtyard, Peter hides behind a column, draped in shadow and shame. His hands tremble as he grips the stone, watching Jesus stumble under the weight of violence. But the greater weight lies on Peter's soul. The words he screamed just hours before, "I do not know the man," echo like thunder inside his head. The rooster's crow still claws at his heart. He sees the blood, the mockery, the agony, and he does nothing. He wants to rush forward, to fight, to beg forgiveness at his feet. But he can't move. He's paralyzed, not by fear of men, but by fear of who he's become. Tears spill freely as he slides down the wall, his shoulders shaking. "I'm sorry," he whispers again and again, as if trying to unwrite his betrayal. But the words hang heavy, unheard. The rock who once declared Christ as Messiah has crumbled into a man too broken to speak his name. As the episode draws to a harrowing close, Pilate brings Jesus once again before the crowd. The man they now see is barely recognizable, swollen, bruised, clothed in mockery. The purple robe clings to open wounds. The crown of thorns is no longer symbolic. It's embedded in flesh, dripping crimson. Pilate's voice is different this time, cracked and quiet. "Behold the man," he says, not as a challenge, but as a surrender. Yet the mob is relentless. The priests lead the chant with venom. "Crucify him!" Others pick it up. Louder, faster, a wave of bloodlust crashing against the steps of power. Pilate's hands tremble, his eyes dart toward Claudia, who silently weeps, knowing what's about to happen. For one breathless moment, the world seems to pause, angels watching from above, demons snarling from below, humanity teetering between mercy and madness. Then Pilate nods. Let it be done. The guards step forward. Jesus doesn't resist. The cross awaits. Heaven recoils, and the earth, quietly, solemnly, starts to mourn.